health, you can take safety, you can take economic justice. The House Bill 2232 is the Reproductive Health Equity Act that ensures that Oregonians receive the full range of preventative reproductive health care services at zero out-of-pocket cost. This is true for all women in Oregon, including those who don't have coverage currently due to citizenship status, and it prohibits discrimination in reproductive health care. House Bill 2673 is removing barriers to updating personal documents for transgender Oregonians. Senate Bill 558 is the Cover All Kids, extending the Oregon Health Plan coverage to all children in Oregon. You may wonder why this isn't a women's agenda, but we know how important reproductive health care is for prepubescent and pubescent girls. House Bill 2660 requires the Oregon Health Authority, says here DCBS, that'll probably be amended out, to implement an educational campaign for breast cancer patients so that they know their post-operative options. Would you like to, you go next on safety?
Yeah. So women's safety, House Bill 3078 has to do with the bill realigns drug and property crime sentencing to create savings that can be reinvested into local communities to provide accountability, addiction, and mental health treatment and victim services. Senate Bill 242 provides a direct allocation of funds to the YWCA of Greater Portland from the general fund in order to continue to administer the Family Preservation Project at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility at its current level. LC 1335, I'm sure we'll have the bill number soon, authorized the court to include evidence of abuse and domestic violence against the defendant as mitigating factors to consider when sentencing defendants for crimes they have committed. We also have Senate Bill 249, allows a person to file a motion to vacate a judgment of conviction for prostitution if the person was a victim of sex trafficking at the time. And Senate Bill 250 creates an affirmative defense to the crime of prostitution if the defendant was arrested because they are victims of sex trafficking. Those two bills are part of the 249 and 250 are definitely bipartisan bills that come out of the sex trafficking work group. Then we have Senate Bill 797 as a gun law that is gun safety legislation that includes the boyfriend loophole, as we call it, the Charleston loophole, and alerts law enforcement about individuals helping law enforcement be able to work with individuals who are perhaps suffering a crisis where we may need to work with them to get the guns out of the public realm, so if they're having a particularly difficult time at that moment. So great.
And then finally, under women's socioeconomic justice, House Bill 2004 establishes a just cause eviction standard by eliminating no-cause evictions and expanding the statute to include landlord-based reasons to evict a tenant. The bill provides moving expenses in cases where a landlord evicts a tenant for a landlord-based reason and the tenant's not at fault. It also would repeal the statewide preemption on rent stabilization. Then Senate Bill 752, also House Bill 2005, is the pay equity bill. Makes it an unlawful employment practice to discriminate in the payment of wages against an employee due to their protected status. It also makes it an unlawful employment practice to screen job applicants based on salary history or to base salary decisions on salary history. Salary history information from the applicant must not be sought until after making an offer of employment. It requires an employer to demonstrate the business necessity for pay differentials that are not based on merit, seniority, piece rate, or production-based work. House Bill 2193 is the Fair Work Week bill, which would grant employees reporting pay and the right to request. It also includes guidelines for some employers to provide a good faith estimate of hours, 14-day notice of the schedule, predictability pay, and priority access to additional hours, among other provisions in order to allow employees to better plan their hours and income. And then we have two final bills that do not yet have bill numbers assigned to them. First, the Janitorial Registry Bill strengthens protections to prevent sexual violence against janitorial and security workers by creating a registry to ensure that contractors in these industries comply with Oregon's labor and employment laws. This includes new measures to prevent fly-by-night contractors from entering the market. And then finally, the Paid Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program would allow family members to care for each other in times of serious need without having to compromise their economic stability through loss of wages.
That's good.